Hey everybody, this is Mr. S, and today we're starting off our ecosystems unit, talking about the buffalo of Serengeti and what explains why the population of buffaloes in the Serengeti changes so much. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to ask questions about why buffalo populations in the Serengeti increased so dramatically over such a short period of time, and obtain and communicate scientific information from multiple sources to draw conclusions about the relative scale, boundaries, resources, and abundance of animals in the Serengeti. Okay, so everything in this lesson will be based on the student activity sheet. So basically you're going to be following along on that along with this video. And there will be paper copies of it in the classroom that you can keep in your notes, or you can do it online. It's very important that you follow along with these notes and with your thoughts so that you can put your concepts together and keep track of what we've been learning about. So make sure you have this out and you're following it along with it. Okay, so it's really important as scientists that we start off by hypothesizing and thinking about what we already know about something. And so the first thing I want you to do is go to your student activity sheet and answer the background knowledge questions, number 1 through 3. So pause the video and think about those questions and write as much as you can about what do you know about the wildlife in Africa? It could be from Lion King, it could be from Nat Geo, whatever. What have you seen about the wildlife? What types of animals are there? So what kind of animals do you know about in the African savanna? And what does the landscape look like? What do you imagine it looking like in this part of Tanzania? Here's a map of Tanzania. And then afterwards we'll pause and have a discussion for those that are in class. Okay, so now if you look at question 4 in your student activity sheet, this is a picture of the African buffalo population in a certain time period from 1960 to 1975. And so I want you to generally think about what's happening with the population. So do you think that this change from, about 30,000 to about 80,000, is that a significant increase? What personal experiences do you have with the populations, with any populations of organisms changing drastically? Have you ever seen animals in an environment grow in their population? And if you know, what might have caused those populations to change. So these are the kinds of things you can think about and reflect on while you're answering this, but take your time answering this. And are populations supposed to grow? Or should this line naturally be more like this? Okay, do you think that this would be more natural or just going straight up? And what do you think could happen? What are some things that could happen if a population changed drastically over a relatively short period of time? So reflect on that on question 4, pause the video, and then continue. Okay, so now we are thinking about models. Okay, so what ideas do you have to explain why the population of buffalo increased so rapidly? Draw an initial model in the space below. So obviously this is going to be better for those of you that are working on paper, and hopefully you are. You can also jot on some paper that you have next to you, or you can jot out some ideas here. But you are going to basically sketch a few different things that could be causing the population to be increasing. Just kind of brainstorm here. Okay, so you can see I just gave you an idea of some possibilities where maybe there's an increase in precipitation. Here you see the buffalo, and it's raining more. He's getting there's more grass, so you can sketch this a variety of ways here. Or maybe the predators have gone down, so you could do a sketch like this. Or you can do, a good way to model is always bubbles, right? So, and you can make it kind of brief, increase population, right? And then you could do weather, right? And what happens with weather, you know? Could be monsoon, like we have here. Could be predators. What else? Think about what else it could be. Maybe it could be one of their mates, more mates available. Maybe there could be, you know, some other factors that are causing their population to grow. Okay, and so when you are finished kind of sketching out your model, the next thing for you to do is look at number 6 and think about, what do we really need to know to figure out and investigate why the buffalo's population is changing, right? So, because we're going to be doing this as an investigation. And so I want you to compare models with one other classmate. So find somebody sitting next to you and compare what you had drawn. And think about, when you compared models, what's similar and what was different. And write about that here on number 6. Okay, and now that you've compared the models, I want you to really think about any questions you could think of. Every question you could think of for what could possibly be changing the buffalo population. Okay? And what I want you to do is write this on a sticky note. Okay? And I'll have these in class. If you're not in class, you can put it on a piece of paper, okay? And we'll just tape it on. Okay. So we're going to have this on the central driving questions board, okay? So this piece of paper in the classroom, and it will have our driving questions that we want to investigate. And so you'll write down questions like, you know, how big is the Serengeti? Okay. How big is the Serengeti? Or another question you might have, for example, is, are other animals eating the same food? Or who else eats the same food? Okay, so there's about 1 million questions you could ask. So write them on the notes and be ready to put them on the board and in class. And stay tuned for the next video on the Serengeti, where we'll continue your student activity sheets. Have a wonderful day.